Welcome to our first module of HTML. So first of all, what does HTML stands for? Well, it stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So let's go over each one of these words and find out what exactly they mean. So first of all, hypertext. Well, hypertext is a text which contains links to the other text, and that is basically the entire web. One document point to the another document which point to a bunch of other document, and it goes on and on. Next term is markup. So markup means to mark something up to annotate. For example, it's really all about the content. So last word in hypertext markup language is a language which basically implies that it has its own syntax, meaning there is a wrong right and wrong way to code it. So the HTML is a language, and the HTML also has its own semantic, which means tag name can mean something either to machine or to human. Okay, let's talk about the three technologies that drive the web. One has its own distinctive purpose, and all three of them fit very nicely together. So let's start with HTML. HTML provides the structure, which means that what component does the HTML document have. CSS. The color and the style is the role of the CSS. So colors, layout, font style, font sizes. In other words, any stylistic approach. The third one is JavaScript. Its job is to provide behavior, provide functionality. It adds functionality to the web page. Okay. Now, history of HTML. So let's briefly talk about the history of HTML. So before 1997, there were no community standards, so browser basically did whatever they wanted. They invented new tags, they implemented the same tag differently. Now, around 1997, the World Wide Web and the W3C came up with the first standard browser, which is HTML4, and they very quickly updated into the HTML 4.01. Around 2000, the W3C came up with another specification called XHTML 1.0, and that specification was based on the XML Extended Markup Language. Around 2004, the WOTWG came up with the more specification in HTML, where WOTWG stands for Web Hypertext Application Technology Group. Around 2007, WOTWG and W3C started sort of kind of working together, and what they produce in the end is what we have now. It's HTML5. And around 2011 to now, at this time, we are using HTML5. Now, what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML first developed by Tim Berners-Lee in 1990. HTML is the standard markup language for creating web pages. HTML describes the structure of web pages using markup. HTML is being widely used to format the web pages with the help of the different tags available in the HTML language. Now, I am going to explain you a basic example of HTML. The very first is doc type HTML. The doc type declaration represents the document type and help browser to display web page correctly. The next one is HTML, and the HTML element is known as the root element of the HTML page. It also has closing tag. Now head tag. Head tag contain the meta information about the document. Title page. Elements specify a title for the document. Body. Close the head tag and open the body tag. Body element which contain the real content of the document that you see. Now H1. It is used for the large heading. H2. It is also used for the heading. P. Paragraph tag. This element defines a paragraph tag. Now close the body tag and close the HTML tag. So this is the output of the program. The title is www.swasth.org. The heading is my first heading, which we are given into the H1 tag, my second heading, which we are given into the H2 tag, and my first paragraph, which we are given into the paragraph tag. So this is the basic example of the HTML. Now anatomy of HTML tag. At the core of the HTML is the HTML tag. So it's pretty important to understand what HTML tag consists of and how to synthetically properly code up an HTML tag. Usually HTML tags have an opening and closing tags. around some content. In this case, the tag P, which stands for paragraph, is communicating to us that the content in the gray area should be treated as a paragraph. Now, most HTML tags have a closing tag that matches its opening tag, but not all. For example, BR and HR tag. BR stands for break line, HR stands for horizontal rule. Only have an opening tag, they don't have a closing tag at all. Now, every HTML element can have predefined attribute. So attribute is a name value pair that is kind of metadata about the element itself that it is being applied to. So in this example, we are assigning a sample as a value of the ID attribute. Each attribute has its own rules for the meaning of its value. For example, ID attributes being assigned as an example has to be unique within the scope of the entire HTML document. Now let me go over some of the basic spacing rule. No space is allowed to exist between the opening bracket and the tag name, and space is not allowed between the opening bracket and the forward slash of the closing tag. You must have at least one space between the tag itself and any of its attributes. Attribute can only be specified on the opening tag, so you can't specify an attribute on the closing tag. In HTML5, enclosing the value of the attribute in quotes is technically actually not required in all circumstances, but nevertheless, it is best practice to always surround the value of the attribute in either double quotes or in single quotes. It does not matter whether you use single or double quotes. Now HTML5 the tag is a little bit more semantic. So if the HTML5 tag is a capable, meaning it can possibly ever have some content, it is illegal for that tag to be self-closing, even if there is no content at the moment. So instead you have to provide an opening and closing tag without any space between them to signify and to communicate the lack of content. Now some basic tags and their uses. A tag specify a hyperlink. Table tag specify a table. TD tag specify a table cell. TR tag specify a table row. Center tag specify a center text. Image tag specify a image. Div tag define a section of your document. I tag specify italic text. TH tag specify the table heading. U tag specify underlined text. I am going to explain you example of the HTML tags. Doc type HTML. HTML head title anatomy of HTML tag. Close the title tag, close the head tag and open the body tag. Open the div tag. It is used for defining a section of our document. Now href tag, it is used for hyperlink www.adljaipur.in. Appin Technology Lab Jaipur. Close the A tag and close the div tag. Now again open the div tag, open the center tag and open the table tag. Give the border of the table 1 px. Now open the tr tag, open the th tag, subject, close the th tag, th function, close the th tag and close the tr tag. Open the tr tag and open the td tag. Td tag is used for the table cell. So Java and close the td tag. Open the td tag. Heading, close the td tag and close the tr tag and so on. Now again open the div tag. I open the img tag. Give the source of the image. Images slash atl.jpg. Open the I tag. Have a close the I tag. U open the U tag. Good day. Close the U tag. Now close the div tag. Close the body tag and close the HTML tag. Now, so this is the basic example of the HTML tags. Appin Technology Lab Jaipur, which we are given into the hyperlink tag. This is the table. The border of the table is equals to 1 px. Subject in function is the table heading and Java threading C++ in function is the table cell and table row. Now this is the image ATL Education Foundation. Have is a italic text and good day is a underlined text. So this is the basic example of the HTML text. Now, now HTML editors. In this section, we can see how to write the HTML code and how to execute HTML code using the notepad and test edit. So first of all, web page can be created and modified by using professional HTML editors. However, for learning HTML, we recommended a simple text editor like Notepad, PC or Text.Mac. We believe using a simple text editor is a good way to learn HTML. Follow the 4 steps below to create your first web page with the Notepad text edit. Open Notepad, write some HTML code, save the HTML page using extension .html. View the HTML page in a browser. Now, open the Notepad. Open the Notepad for Windows 7 or earlier. Go to the Start menu, open the Programs and open the Accessories and open the Notepad. For Windows 8 or later, open the Start screen and open the Notepad directly. Now, write some HTML code. Save the HTML page using extension .html. View the HTML page in a browser. Now, HTML attributes. Now we will discuss about the HTML attributes. So as we know, all HTML elements can have attributes. Attributes provide additional information about an element. Attributes are always specified in the start tag. Attributes usually come in name value pairs like name is equals to value. Now the very first attribute is the language attribute. The language of the document can be declared in the HTML tag. The language is declared with the lang attribute. Declaring a language is important for accessibility application and search engine. The first 2 letters specify the language, and if there is a dialect, use 2 more letters US. Now next one is title attribute. A title attribute is added to the P element. The value of the title attribute will be displayed as a tooltip when you mouse over the paragraph. Now, href attribute. HTML links are defined with a tag and the link address is specified in the href attribute. Now, next one is size attribute. All images are defined with the img tag. The file name of the source and the size of the image, width and height are all provided as an attribute. Now, alt attribute. The alt attribute specify an alternative text to be used when an image cannot be displayed. Quotes value attribute. The HTML5 standard does not require quote around attributes value. Now I am going to explain you an example of the HTML attribute. So this is the example of the HTML attribute. The very first is doc type HTML. HTML lang is equals to ENUS. This is the language attribute which we are given into the HTML tag. Open the head tag. Open the title tag. The title is HTML attributes and close the title tag. Close the head tag. Open the body tag. Open the h1 tag. The HTML attributes. Close the h1 tag. Open the p tag. The title is I am a tooltip. Appin Technology Lab Jaipur, Best Institute for Summer Training in Jaipur. Open the hyperlink tag www.atljaipur.in. Close the a tag. Open the img tag and give the size of the image, width and height. Open the img tag and give the alternative text and height and width. Now open the href tag without double quotes value. Now close the body tag and close the HTML tag. So this is the output of the HTML attribute. The HTML attributes Appin Technology Lab Jaipur, Best Institute for Summer Training, and this is the title. I am a tooltip. This is the image. When we are redirect onto the www.atljaipur.in. So this is the example of HTML attribute. HTML style attribute. Setting the style of an HTML element can be done in the style HTML style attribute. Setting the style of an HTML element can be done with the style attribute. The HTML style attribute has following syntax. The property is a CSS property and the value is a CSS value. Now, the background color. The background color property defines the background color for an HTML element. The text color property. The color property defines the text color for an HTML element. HTML fonts. The font family property defines the font to be used for an HTML element. The font size property. The font size property defines the text size for an HTML element. The type HTML body style. In open the body tag, give the style property background color is pink. Open the h1 tag, give the style color is blue. This is a heading. And open the paragraph tag, give the style color is red. Now again open the font size of the text and give the font family of the text. Now close the body tag and close the HTML tag. So this is the output of the HTML style. The background is pink and this is a heading in a blue text. This is a heading in blue color and this is a paragraph in red color. The basic example of the HTML style. Now HTML5. HTML5 is the fifth revision and newest version of HTML standard. It offers new features that provide not only rich media support but also enhanced support for creating web pages, applications that can interact with the user, his or her local data and servers more easily and effectively than was possible previously. It was published in October 2014 by the W3C to improve the language with the support for the at least multimedia while keeping it both easily readable by humans and consistently understood by computers and devices such as browser, parser, etc. Now, what the doc type for HTML5 is very simple to indicate that your HTML content uses HTML5 simply use. This is much simpler than the former doc type and shorter, make it easier to remember and reducing the amount of bytes that must be downloaded. The first thing done on a page is usually indicating the character set that is used in previous version of HTML. It was done using a very complex meta element. Now it is very simple. Meta charset UTF-8. HTML5 restricts the valid charset to the compatible with ASCII and using it at least 8 bits. This was done to tighten security and prevent some type of attacks. Now, this is the removed element in HTML5. The acronym is use instead aber, applet, object, base font CSS, big CSS, center tag CSS, dir ul, font tag CSS, frameset and no frames is removed, and strike CSS, and tt tag is also used instead CSS.